The only thing that I'm really afraid of.
Well, you hope.
I wouldn't worry about a really big thing in a lake. I'd worry about like a really, 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 really small thing in a lake is what I get scared about. When you're in a contained body of water, I'm like, I don't know what could be growing in there that could get into my brain. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Or just, I mean, you also don't know what the lake can be concealing. Like there could be, like that's the thing. Like I always just think about like fucking, like there being like a body.
Yeah.
There, you know?
Oh, that wouldn't bother me.
If it goes in the lake, it stays in the lake. Because that's the ocean will carry it away to a different ocean, not my business. The lake, it's there.
The ocean, yeah. The thing about the ocean is just like a giant eraser.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it's clean, even though it's dirty.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely dirty, yeah, and gross.
But it's clean. You know? It's like it's self-cleaning, whereas a lake is not.
Yeah, by parts per million and the water system, the water cycle, it kind of like gets through what it's doing, goes through its process.
And it's got the salt in it. You know, the salt is like a.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it kills a lot. High salt
it's a
content.
cleanser.
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about in the lake is those turtles these days, the big
Oh,
snapping turtles. Those things.
you get the snappers.
They get you?
Oh man. Oh no, I've never encountered one like in a swimming scenario.
Yeah.
But they are terrifying, and I've seen some really, really big ones up here in the last couple of years where yeah, like a real foot remover type turtle.
Are they getting bigger? Are they getting bigger because of climate change?
Or microplastics?
I don't think so.
Plastic turtle?
I think they're just
Super turtle?
I think I'm just
full of
more
plastic?
aware of them.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find this here. Here's the video. Wait.
Can't see shit, Captain. I think Jaws just looked really good to us because everything else is such slop now that like a movie from 1975 is like, oh, thank God.
For sure.
We put on Dread afterwards, me and Maddie, and it was like unwatchable. It's like
I saw
surreal.
0.2 seconds of it and I was like, I'm on my phone.
Of Dread?
Yeah.
What's that? I don't know that.
Dread it's a Judge Dredd remake from
Oh,
2023. Which is like the first time I watched it was fun. You know, it was like it was like a movie to be on your phone during, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it was.
Yeah. And then this time coming after Jaws and like how pretty Jaws was, and then seeing Dread, it was like oof.
60 FPS stupid looking fake CGI like camera cut bullshit. Yeah, bummer.
Yeah. But
Come on.
Yeah. I've seen True Lies. I remember that being fun. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's a good movie.
It's fine.
Oh, I saw that one. I mean, was that with
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis? Yeah. I remember. And Kevin Kline. Were we just talking about that?
No, we were talking about a fish called Wanda, which Kevin Kline is.
Oh. All right. So we got to talk about Cars for at least
15 minutes. What is the pod called?
Pod is tired. The car and sometimes movie podcast for people who understand that cars and movies are bad. Rory Carroll is here. Maddie Riley is here. I'm Peter Hughes. And what's on the agenda for today, you ask? We're a week out from the great American Memorial Day tradition of the Indianapolis 500.
Let's go.
Did you watch any of that stuff this weekend?
Yeah, I did watch
crashes and qualifying.
I did, yeah.
That Colton Herta crash was crazy.
It really was. Yeah, it was pretty scary.
That was
So glad
something.
he's okay.
Yeah, he was fine.
It is fucking wild, the shit that those guys walk away from. I mean, like, one, it's wild just that, like, I mean, I've never been a big oval track. I mean, I've been to oval track races. They're really impressive, but it's just like, it is a little bit monotonous, but man, just the physical thing that they're fucking doing is just so, it really beggars belief, you know?
I would say too, like I would be pretty miserable, I think, at like a Texas Motor Speedway IndyCar race, But the
Yeah.
Indy 500 is like a singularly like intoxicating experience. I think like for many fans, a literally intoxicating experience. But but it is like I think I've said it on the pod before, but it's like the first several laps of the race, your eyes are like unable to keep track of the cars as they go around because they're going so fucking fast, which is like an unbelievable experience. Like and like the fact of like having 250,000 people in one place doing one thing is like weird level, like lizard brain level, like strange, like that is a really intense feeling, especially like we used to, when we would go and we'd be on the starting line when the cars started like pulling out and like lining up to run, and like when the cars start, it's like it is like I said, like that idea of like looking in every direction that you can see and seeing like a mass of people larger than you would ever encounter under any other circumstance. All looking down in your general direction is like
it's just like infinite regression of humanity.
It is like I said, there's nothing I can really compare in, like there's nothing anyone can compare it to, because that doesn't happen anywhere else. But it's like it is a very like strange, like I said, like on a lizard brain level, it is a strange thing to be like around that many people. And then the sensation of speed and the sound, and like it's so fun. I think like I said, I would say like most of the time people go to races, they have a really good time and it's fun. But like I don't know anybody who's ever gone to an Indy 500 and walked away and been like, yeah, I don't know if that was for me. Like
right.
It's like it is a life-changing experience to get to that race.
I keep saying I know I have to go. I've got kind of half a mind just to fucking just drive out there and just fucking buy a ticket.
That's the thing.
Just
tickets
roll
are
up
cheap.
like an hour before, and
I've done that before. I guess I had a press pass, but we did decide day of to go when we lived in Detroit one time. We were like, yeah, fuck it. We had kids and we had turned down a press trip. We're like, all right, we're not going to go.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, let's just go down and see if I still have my press pass. And like I went to the press office and they were like, yeah, here you go. And then I just got everybody in. But it is something you can just do as a fan. Like you don't, like the special access is not, I would say it's not even really necessarily better than like, it's nice to be in a suite with air conditioning for some of the days, but like
right.
The experience of sitting in the stands is fucking wild. It's like, it's like that. It's like the big house, the U of M football stadium is like 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And that seems like a lot of people. It's like a very large city's worth of people.
Yeah.
But 250,000 people and it's like, it is packed. It's like shoulder to shoulder. Like it's like everywhere you look, there's people. It's very, very cool. But yeah, you should do it. It's a good time. And it's, it'll be different this year because all the Penske guys are starting at the back.
Yeah, I just saw the email. I'm still on the IndyCar mailing list. I got on there as I think when I did that Mario Andretti story, and I've just they send me the press releases ever since. So yeah, I was just reading about what was Penske, who kind of was caught cheating earlier in the year, or was that last year, or was that
last April?
Penske still cheating.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. This is about racing.
Penske perfect.
Although it did look like, what's the thing? What was the infraction exactly? It's this attenuator that they filled a seam on a rear crash structure to improve airflow over the sides of the attenuators. Team Penske IndyCar president Tim Cindric said The number 12 car actually passed inspection. And as the 2 car went through, it was pointed out that basically officials didn't like the fit. There was a blending there on the attenuator. We decided to look at the number 12 car. The number 12 car was the same way. So there was really no reason to run the number 12 knowing that it was like the number 2 car and they didn't like the number 2 car. So, I mean, this was small enough of
Sneaky.
an issue that they didn't even catch it the first time around.
So I think it's a crash part. It looks like, it's a crash attenuator. So it's like a bumper basically. And it says, let's see. Basically there were gaps in the part where it attaches to the car, and they filled them, which they believe may have given them a slight aerodynamic advantage. IndyCar and chassis supplier Dallara introduced a new rear attenuator for 2023 to improve safety and greater crushability to reverse the force felt by the driver when the back of the car is hit. Let's see. The new attenuator is designed to decrease peak G-force levels. It is a continued evolution from all data collected from the original DW12 attenuator. The DW12 was the last chassis, which was originally a closed box that underwent a couple of modifications over the last decade. The most significant previous update came during the 2016 season when some drivers complained of headaches after backing into the wall at street circuits. We reworked existing attenuators. We removed the back bulkhead so it would crush easier the tip. We went in and thinned the material right at the very back, so the initial impact was much softer. It's just that the drivers had a bit of a headache. We don't want them to have a headache. We don't want them to have a bit of a headache if possible. And so that got evolved, and we were working on this one. Let's see.
I mean, I just wonder, just like the blending issue, which I assume is just like done for aero, like, does that, like, would that impact its functionality in terms of its
crushability,
safety? Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think they were allowed to do that. They were allowed to touch stuff like that.
I guess if it's out of spec, then
yeah,
it's out of spec. Anyway,
and it said that you're not allowed. Yeah, it said this is Hinchcliffe said what the team Penske seems to have done is filled that in. This part you're not allowed to modify, and it's like just because it's a safety part, you're not allowed to fuck with it. But the good thing about Indy, the interesting thing about Indy is cars that start at the back. There will be more passing in an IndyCar race than there is in an entire season of F1, and cars that start at the back, if they're fast, will have an opportunity to win the race. Which is, again, super cool. It is like, and I would say too, like if you're listening to this and don't want to go to Indy, like watching usually the last 3 minutes of the Indy 500 is mega fucking intense. Like the last few years, there have been 2 or 3 cars in the mix who are passing each other back and forth up until the final seconds of the race. And it like, man, being there, I'm like actually getting goosebumps thinking about like being there at some of these races. It's super, super cool. And it's like I said, I'm sure there are Indy races on the calendar that are not as fun. But this one is like one of the Super Bowl level things where it's like undeniably.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I used to go to kart races, CART, back in the 90s and early 2000s at California Speedway with my dad. And that was like when those cars were running like 240 mile per hour plus laps.
Yeah.
I mean, and it fried your brain because you can't conceive of something with 4 wheels going that fast. So I definitely have experienced that part of it. And I mean, those races, I mean, they definitely didn't have the kind of Indy pageantry or level of spectacle, but just as races, they were Yeah, they were good.
Really good.
They were entertaining.
Peter, you guys kind of had a little bit of everything back in the day. I mean, you got to catch IMSA races back then. You got to see some of that. You got to see some of the drag races out there a little later on. I didn't know that there was that
Southern
much.
California.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's I mean the thing is like well, the drag racing stuff is still going on, and that's been pretty continuous at Pomona for decades. But yeah, the history of road racing and oval track racing there in Southern California has been very kind of fitful and episodic over the years. Riverside kind of came and went. I'd like to do a whole Riverside episode at some point.
Let's please.
Just to talk about it, because it's such a fucking crazy thing to have happened. But yeah, there was Ontario Motor Speedway, which was I have a poster.
Do you?
It's not hanging up right now, but inaugural season in 1970. And this was basically a replica of, if I remember correctly, of the Indianapolis Speedway. Like it was like the same kind of layout and length, and it opened to much fanfare. And they ran Indy cars there. They ran like what they call it, like F5000. Was that? Formula 5000, kind of early 70s, kind of crazy, big block open wheel cars, and this was in not I mean, they called it Ontario Motor Speedway. I mean, it's kind of like eastern part of Ontario, kind of where Ontario Mills is now, which is like this big mall, although honestly I don't know if Ontario Mills is still there.
For our listeners to place it, if you need to find Ontario on a map, if you can find Rancho Cucamonga, go slightly southwest in a diagonal, you'll hit Chino, and Ontario is roughly around there, and so you'll want to kind of turn your eye east.
If you just fucking drive 45 minutes east of LA.
That's true. If you're looking at a map.
The 60 or the 10. Anyway, and then that kind of petered out. And I think maybe the last year that they ran there was like 1980, I think. And that's gone. And then Penske built California Speedway. Or did he build it? Or did somebody else build it? And then he came in and bought it. I can't remember.
That sounds more likely to me, but
yeah. That was mid 90s, late 90s.
It looks like it actually, I think Peter, you might be right. Built by
okay. Yeah, and that was like my dad's shit. Like he bought they did the thing like that they do with football stadiums where you can buy a personal seat license. You get the PSL, where you kind of have like these, and you pay a bunch of money up front. It's like a few $1,000 or something.
This was in Fontana.
But like.
Okay.
Yeah. So he had these two seats that were like the most perfect seats in the entire fucking place, because they were up underneath the press box on the start finish line, and there were two seats and then a seat next to it, and then a pole going up holding up the press box. So nobody would ever buy that third seat. So you had like these two seats on the aisle and then a perpetually open seat next to you. And it was great because you were in the shade, you're up high, you can see the entire track. I mean, it was, and the thing is, this is like going to Angels games in the 90s where you could just like walk down, I mean, you kind of had your run of the place. I mean, you could fucking sit wherever you wanted, but having access to those seats in the shade, that was kind of the one area where everybody was kind of bunched up, and you could just be like, yeah, sorry, man, this is my seat. That was pretty cool, but yeah, that is gone now too, and yeah, weird. I mean, it's California, Southern California. It's I mean, look, we didn't give a shit about the NFL left, and we didn't care.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like you need. I mean, the attitude among Angelinos was basically to the NFL, which fucking was awesome. Was basically like, you need us more than we need you. We're not going to build you a fucking stadium. Fuck off. And yeah.
A wise man once said, "I speak on behalf of all of LA when we say we like our football on TV."
There you go. Anyway, back to
Indy 500.
Yes. The headline story from the weekend from qualifying is out of nowhere. This guy that nobody's ever heard of before.
Yeah.
Straight from Tel Aviv, Robert Schwartzman, right? A guy who we've talked about on this podcast before because
the right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
what's notable? I mean, the thing that's funny about Robert Schwartzman is he's one of these guys who who's basically Russian, and drove under the Russian flag for most of his career until the special military operation commenced, whereupon everybody had to quickly, all these Russian drivers had to quickly invent a new backstory. For Robert Schwartzman, it was actually a little bit easier because he was in fact born in Tel Aviv, but I don't think he spent any part of his actual childhood there. I think it was just kind of like one of those deals where, he grew up in Russia, but he's and I don't know. Did you guys watch his qualifying laps?
No.
I did just because I was curious, and one of the announcer guys, just very, very over the top. This is the magic of the Indy 500. It doesn't matter if you grew up in a cornfields of Indiana or from Tel Aviv, Israel. You can come here and find yourself in. And I mean, the thing is, it is a big story. Yeah. Yes. The fact that, I mean, he's the first rookie to land on pole since Teo Fabi in, what was it, like 1981 or 2 or something?
Yeah.
Pretty fucking awesome.
That is crazy. Yeah. I mean, that's a crazy, like everything that we've just been saying about like the absolute speed at Indy and like how big an event it is, and like to show up and like first try be like, yep, go ahead.
Well, and the thing about Schwartzman, I mean, he's not unfamiliar to people who have been following sports car racing for the last several years. I mean, he was at Le Mans, and he's been driving, like he was driving the what's it called, the extra Ferrari, the quote unquote non-factory Ferrari.
AF Corsa.
AF Corsa, thank you. The 83 car, the yellow one. He was in that last year, maybe the year before too. I can't remember. But this year skipped out to kind of try his hand at IndyCar, and I mean, like a guy, I mean, he's like 24, 25 years old, like very little oval track experience. And the thing, like oval track racing, it's such like a radically different discipline from anything else. And especially at Indy, where it's just like, I mean, it's wild to watch those qualifying runs because they're fucking not lifting. Like you can, they'll show you the graphic where you can watch the throttle trace, and and like occasionally guys will lift a little bit, going like in like turns 3 and 4 maybe, or like downshift. I saw some guys doing like, go down to fifth gear, like for turn 4 or whatever, without lifting. But to see, I mean, the whole time you're just fucking like threading this needle, and you're just on this like razor's edge of control. And it's like when you watch those crashes, when you watch guys lose it, like just I mean, it's really fucking spooky. Like it just seems like the difference between being at the limit and in control and just, stepping that millimeter over and losing it completely. It seems like the most fucking terrifying thing that you could possibly do in a car.
Yeah. Speaking of, I just saw Scott McLaughlin crashed out in practice. Holy shit, that's scary footage.
Yeah, that was a big one too. So for this kid to fucking go out there on his first fucking trip to Indianapolis and put the car on pole,
gotta hand it to him.
Really, really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I think too, like there are a lot of very good drivers, sports car drivers, and Fernando Alonso, and like maybe guys who would be in the conversation for like top 10 of all time, who have like decided to show up to Indy and try to qualify,
try their luck,
and not qualified, like not gone fast enough to qualify, and like or qualified mid pack or whatever made the race. But like, yeah, that is astonishing. And I will say too, like I've never driven a car at Indy, but I've gone for rides, and like they used to do Chevy SSs around there. So you'd go hop in an SS, and like Joseph Newgarden or somebody would take you around, and like the banking there, and like you are in a street car, you are 4 inches off the wall. In the turns, maybe 4 inches off the wall, like to the point where like, you wouldn't want to roll the window down. But like, and that's at like 180 miles an hour ish. And like, it is a scary, and it's also immense. Like as a race track, like the view from the track is like most race courses or whatever, like, okay, here's a turn coming, like there's a long straight, there's a turn, like there are all these little markers for you to like keep track of where you're at and on the track. And at Indy, it's like it's just like endless speed on those straights. It's just like
it's like the horizon. Like turn, when you come out of turn 4, it's like turn 1 is just like so far away you can't even see it.
We're just going to accelerate permanently on the track. Like we're not like we will just be achieving VMAX all the time on the track, which is man. That's good for him. Good for Robert Schwartzman.
Crazy shit. The other part of that story that should not be undersold or underappreciated is that the team that he's driving with is Prema, which is this Italian team that is also, I mean, first time that this team has been to Indy. Prema is like this Italian team that has, I mean, been around for years, for decades, done lots of open wheel, like formula, like they do a lot of the kind of like F1 kind of feeder series cars, and have like multiple, like lots of just kind of up and coming drivers that I mean, if you look at their website or their wiki stuff, I mean, it's crazy the number of series that they're involved with, and they've been doing sports car stuff too last few years. I guess not this, maybe anyway.
Isn't there a Dames Association, I think?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same people. But yeah, this is their first time they've ever come to Indy. And I do think that they brought in like a few kind of like more experienced consultants, to kind of like help them. So it's not like they're 100% They do have some veterans on the staff, but nevertheless, first time at Indy for this team, which is pretty rare, right? I mean, like it's kind of it's a bit of a closed shop, you know. I mean, it's the majority of teams running it at Indy are teams that have been around, have been doing that forever.
It's just it's really just not something you would go try to do if you're
no.
Yeah.
Big swing.
I mean, especially at this point. I mean, like historically, it has been. I mean, that's been one of the kind of fun draws is that, kind of like Le Mans or I mean, it is one of the things where it's kind of open. You can show up. You don't have to be like a team that's running the full IndyCar season.
Series.
You can kind of just like show up for this race. With a car that you fucking built in your backyard. And if it's fast enough to qualify, then you qualify. But I mean, that thing has, which has historically been part of the Indy 500. I mean, that's become pretty rare. I mean, that's kind of the exception now. But yeah, I mean, definitely for this Italian team to come over with a driver who's never even been there before, really wild, really crazy.
Astonishing. Yeah. So you should go, and if you go, send us a DM, and if you want to call me, I'll tell you how to do it and where to go and what to go see, what not to go see. Maybe Peter will be there.
Tell him you go to the press the press office and tell him you're Rory Carroll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're with Alloy.
That's not a bad way. I probably do have a credential. I think it's one of those things where it's like at a certain point they just start renewing your credential. Because I've showed up to a lot of stuff where I should not have had a credential and said like, do I have a press credential? And they're like, yeah, you do. And I'll be like, great.
Thought so.
By all means.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, try that. Yeah, of course I do. Yeah.
Just making sure.
I should have a press credential back there.
Just making sure. Computers.
But yeah, go check it out. It's awesome. Wear your sunscreen. There's like a substantial risk of a heat stroke type situation in most years because you're just outside. Go to the Snake Pit, which is like a EDM.
What's that?
Oh, the Snake Pit is on the one end of the track. I forget what. I think it's like turn 3-4 side of the track. There's a now it's like usually bad EDM like the Chainsmokers or whatever. But it historically has been like butt rock bands and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a huge open air party where you can bring your own booze. And so it's like a concert that is happening during the Indy 500.
I was just going to say, is this during the race? I mean, it has to be before the race, right?
No, it is during the race. And there are people in various states of undress, getting more sunburned than they have ever been, carrying around an entire 30-pack of like twisted tea. And,
oh my god!
Yeah,
this is all
really good.
It's a little much heterosexual culture for me, but more power to everybody who enjoys the Snake Pit.
I gotta tell you, Maddie, there's a fair amount of homoeroticism happening up there. It's not all heterosexual.
Listen,
if I'm not.
I mean, how is it like if you were like, I'm just curious, like just to get a sense of like if you're like if you just rolled up like day of and bought a ticket, where would you be likely to end up grandstands wise?
Pretty high up, but like there's not a bad grandstand seat. And I think you can also get GA and just sit in the infield, which is awesome because you can walk around. There's like a bunch of berms like inside that you can climb up on, and like that was actually one of the most fun times we went. We didn't have seats, I think that was actually the year we went with just my press credential and like bought tickets.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of berms you can sit on, like put a blanket down and like an umbrella, and like you're close and like you're not in the stands, but like the infield is totally open. It's like Daytona or anywhere else where you just have free reign to walk wherever you want. But it's all grassy. Like there's a golf course, and it's really nice. Like like you can get a shady tree and just sit and watch the race. It's very cool. But I would, like that's a totally fine way to do it. I would say like, I don't know if it sells out, but I would say like probably buy a ticket.
It's so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's what's the capacity of it? Isn't it like 350,000 or something insane like that?
Yeah.
I mean, it did sell out like for the 100th, right? Didn't it?
That was a record. I don't know if it sold out.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? It is a totally approachable thing to just show up. I will say.
And are there tunnels? Can you go like from the outside to the infield pretty easily? Or
Yep. Yeah. There's a bunch of places to get around. It's not a big deal. I think. Yeah, there are, because we went from the infield to Jimmy and Kate's seats a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. I will say one year, I had read this press release. Maybe this is the story to go out on, but I read this press release that they were going to do glamping at the Indy 500.
Hell yeah.
Which is like camping but glamorous.
Right.
And they were like,
it's like when I go camping.
Yes, of course. But it was like, they're gonna do glamping, and we're opening. It was like maybe 90 huge canvas tents, and they had like this really cool like outdoor fire pit set up with like a huge screen that would show movies at night. And like all this like wicker seating, and like it was really nice. And I think they were thinking like it would be a classy thing for like rich people and families to do. But what ended up happening was that it happened to be the cheapest way to do the Indy 500 that year, because the tents conceivably slept 8 people if you really crammed people in there. And so it was like, and Maddie, this was too much heterosexual activity for me. It was like a frat, like all men, no shirts, just sweating.
We're
and
coming
sinking.
back. We're coming back around now. Hang on.
I'm telling you, Maddie, there's a fine line, man. There's a fine line. People are getting up to some stuff, I think. But
I'll continue to. I'll be in my mind palace. Keep talking.
Yeah, but the number of times where I was awakened or like couldn't get to sleep because of the sound of like bodies being thrown to the ground, like men wrestling each other and fighting.
Wait,
and
were you in one of these glamping tents?
Oh yeah. Me and Christina.
Wait, sorry, get back. Sorry. Hang on. Noises about what? Sorry, I've gone away.
The men were throwing themselves around and fighting, and but that dull thud sound of a body like hitting dirt at like velocity, like. So we got a press release, and I was like, "Hey, IndyCar, you should, or IMS, you should give me a tent, and I'll write a story about this." And we went, and it was like, there's a story on Auto Week about it.
It's called "Women in Love" by D.H. Lawrence, and
yeah. But it was intense, and it was like good idea, great. Great attempt, but you got to figure out how to. It was like the intent was like Lawrence of Arabia, and what they got was like an army barracks where there was no commanding officer, and it was like and tons of alcohol.
Total dirtbag shit show.
Yeah, just wrestling and fighting, and guys getting pushed into the tent late at night, and it's like
Definitely.
Yeah, one of those classic situations. Let me see if I can find the article.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun, but also at times quite terrifying. Let's see. This is so all of my old bylines at most of my previous jobs have been erased, but I did find this. And my headline is, in its first year, Indy 500's quote unquote glamping shows potential. It's like, let's see. For the first time, Indianapolis Motor Speedway offered glamorous camping or glamping on the track's infield during the Indy 500. Across the small lake from the Brickyard Crossing Golf Course's 8th hole, IMS settled Glamptown, a village of 70 10 by 15 foot canvas tents. The tents are available with the choice of a comfortable queen bed, which is what I got, double beds, or 4 military style cots, that's when things got a little hairy. Let's see, nice bathroom. Okay, Glamptown was also a fairgrounds home to a fairground style food trailer and a nice, clean, portable bathroom and shower facilities. Overheard in the men's room, this is a lot nicer than the bathroom in my house. It was a very nice bathroom. They showed
Did it stay nice?
No. They stayed. Showed the Eastern Conference Finals, Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat. They had Fast Five playing at night. Let's see what else happened. Okay. Compared to the other lodging options in the Indianapolis area, glamping was relative value. A 2-cot tent could be had for $650, and the most expensive queen bed tent rented for $1,100. The 4-cot tent could be as cheap as $56 per person per night. Even at the highest end, it works out to $275 per night. So it was like $50 a night. If you think about like going to the Indy 500 and like
that's crazy.
Hotel,
yeah. Cheap as hell.
Yeah. There were a few older folks among the residents of Glamptown. A big percentage of the residents were shirtless, tribal tatted bros in their 20s and 30s. Those guys were there to pound beers, drink flavored whiskey from the bottle, play games, and wrestle each other. Some of them were accompanied by women. Many of these glampers displayed...
Well, I'm sure we're having a great time.
Yeah. Displayed superhuman stamina, staying up to the early morning, talking loudly and blaring music on portable PA systems they dragged along, then rising as early as 5:30 in the morning to continue the party. Playing cornhole, getting hammered, and rocking out to loud music are, for many, a big part of the Indy 500 experience. The waking up before the sun on consecutive days after just a couple of hours passed out in a steamy tent packed with dudes to queue up, we're not going to take it, is a dedication to craft that brings to mind Hoosier Larry Bird's legendary hustle. If our culture valued partying like we valued athletic achievement, there would be statues of these guys. I have a picture... there's really a picture here of guys wrestling in the article.
Google glamping.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah, man, that was fun. And I will say it was cool. It was a little bit like going to Watkins Glen, because at night you were at the speedway inside security and you could just do whatever you wanted. That part was super cool. I remember like walking around and walking through paddock and really like having a lot of access to stuff that I probably should not have had access to. But
cool.
Go to the Indy 500. Watch Robert Schwartzman not win the race. I will guarantee you he will not win the race, despite having come out in the pole. It's a very hard race to win. You need experience.
Teo Fabi's going to win.
A lot of guys we like out there.
Yeah.
A lot of guys we like out there.
Felix Rosenquist, Scott Dixon,
Scott McLaughlin.
I do like that beside Schwartzman on the front row is Takuma Sato, who's like 45 or 46 or something.
I think he's older than that.
Respect.
Is that like a vanity age? Yeah, just respect to old guys on the front row.
Hell yeah.
He is 48.
Damn.
Immediately,
Yeah.
so much more in Takuma Sato. Okay, I care. I'm rooting for him. All of a
I mean, he's won before.
Oh, Oh, look at him. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Big fan already.
But he's not
Yeah.
he's a guy who he's no longer competing in the series, correct? He's just showing up for the 500 and puts the car on the front row. That's equally sick achievement in my book.
To just show up, yeah, for sure. So he's doing this. This is supposed to be his last Indy 500 with
Versado,
Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan Racing. Yeah, it is a. He's awesome. He came by the office. I forgot what year it was. There was a year where he was leading late and crashed, and he came by the office right afterwards, and he was super cool about it. But he's a guy who's done he was in Formula One, has raced everywhere and done everything. But yeah, you see it like there's a bunch of guys who are just Indy 500 guys now, which is really cool.
Yeah,
sick.
Specialists.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I used to be pretty good at like calling this. I haven't really followed IndyCar as much as I should the last couple of years, but I used to be pretty good at like picking a top three. Although I think I lost $150 betting on this last year. No, that was Le Mans.
Yes.
One of my colleagues at Gizmodo really took me to the fucking cleaners.
360 no scope. Wow, someone from Giz. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I may have been a little over generous with the with my intelligence leading up to the race, but yeah, I got fucking owned. Anyway, yeah, go to Indy or at least watch it on TV. I will say, always if you're gonna watch a race, especially a big race, betting is a key. Go to the website, look up the drivers, see who's qualified well, see whose name you like, see whose sponsor is for some reason ideologically in your wheelhouse for whatever reason, and pick them and put amount of money that would hurt to lose. Maybe it's $1, maybe it's $500. But
I think it's like I think it's like what do they say like when you like about an engagement ring is that it should be like X number of
paychecks,
like months salary or something. I think you should do like at least a month salary, or
do like your hourly, at least your hourly wage. So if you make $7.25 an hour, $7.25. If you make,
you should bet $7.25.
Yeah, but it's
between what you make in an hour and what you make in a month.
Yes, depending on what you can afford to lose. But it does make the race way more fun when there's some stakes involved. And when it's also helpful just as a matter of just because the race is so fast, it does help to have someone to watch. Like has like a car to keep an eye on. Helps you kind of locate yourself in the race and like who's on what lap and all that stuff. So yeah.
All right.
Indy.
Or if you just think one of them is really cute. Lots of cute boys.
That's another one.
Pick a boy.
Yeah, there are some handsome guys out there. I will tell you that.
The Handsome Guys 500 this weekend. Tune in.
Yeah, that is that's a great way to do it. That's a really great way to do it.
Yeah.
And really a handsome boy for every taste.
It's true. You got Joseph Newgarden for Rory. I've got Callum Ilott. Peter, I don't know what you're into, but there's a smorgasbord of guys to pick from. Everyone can get a little what they're after. It's a great race. Right. It's a great grid.
One of my kids, when she was like 2, was obsessed with Elio Castroneves.
You mentioned this on the Auto Week pod once. It was very funny.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I think he has very like dark bushy eyebrows and like very like
Mediterranean features,
like very pronounced Mediterranean type features.
Yeah.
But every time he would come on the screen, she was like fascinated by this guy. Like
I
there's
understand.
a guy who looks like a man, form of man.
I get it.
Big teeth, big nose. Like, yeah, she was super into it. Anyway,
Respect.
great
It's funny.
reason to
Mine,
choose.
mine. There was one year that I always just had it on. I think, and my daughter got completely fixated on Alexander Rossi just because she liked the name.
Yeah.
She was just like, Go Rossi.
Oh, it's
How's
cute.
Rossi doing? Anytime, if I was watching another, if I put another race on, she'd be like, Rossi.
He's a handsome
yeah.
devil too.
That's sweet. Aw.
Yeah, that's funny.
You should, Peter. You should check back in. See who she thinks is like the least dweeby on the grid, and who seems like who's got Ara on this grid, honey. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like, I mean, she was very into Alexander Rossi, and then when I met Valentino Rossi and sent them pics, it was kind of just like they just shrugged it off, like,
Dang.
I don't know. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, Valentino.
He's really handsome though. Damn, that's crazy.
Valentino Rossi.
Yeah.
I think he's got what was the guy who was in last year, like the type of guy, the rat boyfriend or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Like the
No.
Well, God, there was like a whole thing about
This is a type of guy.
The thing about like women want a guy who looks like a drowned rat.
yeah.
No,
Like
that's true.
there
You
was-
want a guy who looks a little weird. You can't be too perfect. You got to have something a little weird about you. It gives you
there was
character.
Yeah. No, he does. He does have that kind of just like Italian kind of
pervert,
like
dirtbag.
yeah guy who's like catcalling you on the public transport
absolutely.
vibe.
Kinda
you know?
He's like
Grungy guy,
5'4". Yeah.
Squad. Hell yeah. That's my dude.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. This
As
is
a guy
Elle
who's
magazine.
transitioning into a dirt bag, and every time I take testosterone, I become more of a weird rat. I totally get
Yeah.
it. Hell yeah, dude. Let's
Good timing
go.
for you. Yeah. We can get off here, but it's
Yeah.
here's from Elle magazine, a who's who of the internet's hot rodent boyfriends. Jeremy
Yes.
Allen White,
True.
Josh O'Connor.
Don't
yeah.
know.
It was a Timothy
I'm not
Chalamet
going to
was on the
know
list.
any of these. Oh, okay.
Barry
Well,
Barry
good for him.
Keoghan, is that right?
Oh, sure. From the good Irish film. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what's the good Irish film?
The one with Brendan
Banshees?
Gleeson. Yeah. Inisherin.
That was a great movie. Yeah. Maddie Healy from 1979.
Boo. Give
Josh
a bad name for
O'Connor.
Maddie's.
I don't know who that guy is.
I don't know.
Mike Face. Okay, we're getting into territory of people I don't even know. Adam Driver is on the list. He's tall though. He's my height.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. He doesn't have Adam Driver and Valentino Rossi are not the same
In the same category.
type.
No.
Yeah.
Well, these guys are all sort of reinventing the like Dustin Hoffman and Midnight Cowboy, kind of like
Oh,
Ratso
yeah.
Rizzo, like yeah, but it like not as much like they don't have the pizzazz. Chalamet is kind of getting there, I think he's kind of sneaky cool, like ditching award shows to go watch basketball or whatever. He's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But like, no, a lot of these guys are kind of like maybe. Jeremy Allen White's he's pretty handsome. He's got the big nose, good look.
The thing about Rossi is he has almost like it's almost like a crust punk vibe, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like kind of like
Total
a
disregard for
like yeah, it's just kind of like street, you know?
yeah.
You can see him showing up at the gig with like the most like stickered, painted, like bedecked acoustic guitar you've ever seen, and just making sounds.
Or like the guys who once showed up to a Mountain Goat show in St. Augustine asking if asking if they can get in if they gave us a bag of oranges.
Did it work?
So pure.
We've got these oranges, man. Can we get in? It's like, I don't know, man. You got to talk to the people at the venue. I don't know if they can do that. If it was up to me, man, I like oranges, but
Florida.jpg.
Rossi, not to get we're on a tangent now.
No,
I gotta
it's
go,
fine.
but
yeah.
Rossi did have like a real babyface teen idol thing going when he was young, when he first started racing.
Valentino Rossi.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Yeah,
no kid. Oh,
he,
my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
just
you
like
kidding?
a little
He
cutie.
looks like he's in Hanson. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
he's got like the long hair and
Oh, my God.
yeah.
That's so funny. That's hysterical. Okay, that's wonderful Valentino Rossi lore. Thank you. Google image search Valentino Rossi 1990s. That's crazy.
Because I was thinking, like in my head, I was like, "There's no way this guy has like a reputation for how he looks now. Like he had to have been cute when he was a baby, and it turns out he does."
Him with the bisexual bob is like me in high school.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I know.
I mean, I think he's a good-looking guy. I think he's got an incredible smile,
Yeah,
and yeah.
magnetic even.
If you have Riz, it doesn't matter what you look like.
He's
if you got
got it.
Riz, oh, you're in.
No,
He's got it, baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for
God,
sure.
all day long.
Hell yeah.
He's a charismatic. Go back to that episode where I talk about seeing him at Goodwood. We can tell you about his incredible personal charisma.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's when I talked about what it feels like to have Valentino Rossi lay his hands on you.
Touching your arm Europeanly, just the American male mind comprehending physical touch.
and just being like, whoa,
It's like,
what's that? What's happening?
All right, I gotta go get some Polaroid film and a special sandwich from across town.
it's important. Field trip day. You gotta do what you gotta do. Salute, dad
All
tasks.
right, man.
Alrighty.
I think
boys.
this was a good one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Good one, fellas.
Stay
Nice work.
tired.
Stay tired
Stay
out there,
tired.
listeners. And don't forget, if you've been missing out on our Patreon episodes, patreon.com/tiredpod. We have a ton of fun stuff over there. And as you heard in the last teaser, maybe, there's a new bonus episode with some deleted scenes. That's very fun. So if you're not on the Patreon yet, get in there.
I listened to that on my walk today, and the thing that was very funny, and we started getting into this same kind of thing. It's just I just thought it was very funny, like how many people we were talking about how handsome they were.
I try to keep my
Seemed like
nonsense off
kind
air
of like
as
a
much
recurring theme.
I try to cut it because I don't want to be a bit too much, but also it's very fun.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
no,
It's
You gotta run with it.
Yeah.
listen. It's fun to talk about handsome guys who are handsome and to learn about which guys are handsome and
It
which guys are not.
rocks.
Yeah, I actually had this discussion. My friend Maggie was over this weekend, and I was like, "It's a great topic. It's a very entertaining thing to think about. Is who's handsome and who's not handsome."
Yeah. It's super
So
fun.
We should
Guys being dudes.
do a spin-off pod called "Who's Handsome." By the time.
It's the actual handsome guys pod, like we've been threatening. The day is coming.
Actually, it would be really funny to do a pod where you invite a woman on and we can submit men to her and she can tell us if they're handsome. Peter and I,
Pass or trash.
Hang on,
yeah.
let me think
Yeah.
if I know any women who aren't lesbians. That's just,
Yeah.
This
I feel like I feel
might
like
be on you guys.
Maddie does his best to guide us, but I feel like another voice would be useful and like a panel of people who can be like,
Yeah.
Not this panel.
yeah.
What's Chicago Sarah? Okay, that's one. I'll make a short list. Women I know who are attracted to men. I'll be up on this one all night.